When I first saw her body on the hospital bed, I could hardly believe it was her. Her skin was pale, her stomach was bloated, and her eyes were swollen shut. The nurse looked at me with sad eyes, and all I could hear was the faint beep of the machines. "I am so sorry," she whispered. "We did everything we could." Now let me take you back to where it all began. Her name was Aisha. She was a bright young woman living in the city of Lagos. Everyone who knew her could agree that she was smart, ambitious, and full of life. But there was something that most people didn't know. Aisha was deeply insecure about her body. You see, Aisha was not like those Instagram models she admired so much. She had a petite figure, slim, with no curves to show off, and in a world where everyone seemed to worship the hourglass shape, she felt left out. Her friends, her co-workers, even random people on social media, they all seemed to have that perfect figure, the kind that got all the likes and attention. Aisha couldn't help but compare herself to them. It all started during a party one evening. It was one of those lavish events in Lekki where everyone dressed to impress. Aisha wore her best dress, hoping to feel good about herself. But as soon as she stepped in, she noticed the stares. Not the admiring type, but the kind that made her feel small. She saw the guys eyeing the girls with curvier bodies, and she couldn't help but feel invisible. When she got home that night, Aisha stared at herself in the mirror for a long time. Her reflection seemed so ordinary. That's when she made up her mind. If she wanted to be noticed, if she wanted to feel beautiful, she had to change something. And so Aisha began her research. She spent nights strolling through Instagram and TikTok, watching videos of girls showing off their new bodies about something called BBL, Brazilian butt lifts. It seemed like magic. A flat tummy, fuller hips, and a round backside, all in one surgery. It looked like the solution to all her problems. The price, however, was expensive. The most trusted clinics were charging millions of naira, but then she found a place, a small clinic in Ikeja, offering a BBL at half the price. The reviews were mixed, but Aisha didn't care. She was desperate, and this seemed like her only chance. A few weeks later, Aisha walked into the clinic for consultation. The doctor, a middle-aged man with a serious face, assured her that everything would be fine. "We have done this surgery many times," he said with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. He handed her a pamphlet showing before and after pictures of previous clients. They all looked perfect, and it was enough to convince her. Aisha didn't tell anyone about her decision, not her parents, not even any of her close friends. She knew they would try to talk her out of it. She was determined to go through with it, and nothing was going to stop her. That night before the surgery, Aisha couldn't sleep. She kept imagining herself with a new body, walking into a room and turning heads. The thought gave her a strange mix of excitement and fear, but she pushed the fear aside. This was her chance to finally be the girl everyone admired. The next day, she walked into the clinic alone. The waiting room was small, with a strong smell of antiseptic in the air. She filled out some forms, paid the fee, and was led into a room to change. The nurse who took her in was young, probably not much older than Aisha herself. She tried to smile at her, but it came out shaking. Aisha noticed it but brushed it off. The surgeon began, and that was the last thing Aisha remembered before the darkness took over. When she woke up, everything was blur. Her body felt heavy, and there was a sharp pain in her lower back. She tried to sit up, but quickly realized she couldn't move. She looked around confused. The room was dimly lit, and there was no sign of a doctor or nurse. She was bleeding all over her body. Hours turned into days, and Aisha was still in pain. Something wasn't right. She could barely walk. Her stomach was swollen, and there was a strange smell coming from her bandages. She tried calling the clinic, but they stopped answering her calls. That's when panic set in. One morning, Aisha woke up to find her entire bed soaked with something wet. It was blood. Her wounds had opened up, and she was bleeding heavily. She called an Uber and rushed herself to the nearest hospital. By the time she arrived, she was barely conscious. The doctors were horrified when they saw her condition. They rushed her into surgery, but it was too late. The infection had spread throughout her body. They tried their best to save her, but there was only so much they could do. After hours of trying, the doctor came out of the operating room. His face was down. "We have done everything we could," he said, looking at her parents, who had rushed in after hearing the news, but she's not responding. Aisha was in a coma for 2 days before she passed away. The doctor said it was septic shock. The infection from the surgery had taken all over her body and there was nothing they could do to reverse the damage. Aisha's story became a cautionary tale. People in her neighborhood and on social media couldn't stop talking about it. The clinic was shut down, but it was too late for Aisha. Her parents were left with nothing but memories of their beautiful daughter, whose only mistake was wanting to be someone else. In Lagos, the pressure to look a certain way is real. Everywhere you turn, you see billboards, Instagram posts, and celebrities showing off their perfect bodies. It's easy to feel like you are not good enough, but Aisha's story is a reminder that beauty should never come at the cost of your life. If there's one thing we can learn from Aisha's sad story, is that there is no shortcut to self-love. True beauty is not about how you look, but about who you are. Aisha didn't need a new body to be beautiful. She already was. The surgery she thought would change her life ended up taking her life. So if you ever feel like you are not good enough, remember Aisha's story. It's okay to want to improve yourself, but don't lose yourself in the process, because at the end of the day, there is nothing more beautiful than being alive and healthy. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like and comment your thoughts, and also support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel for more videos like this, more movie recommendations, movie insight, African folk tales, and so much more. Bye. See you in my next video.